Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. Now, if you guys have been with us the last few weeks, we've completely changed up the show. We're saying fuck WWE and really in general the pro wrestling industry. I know we're starting to move away from it, but Joshi Wrestling, though, still holding it down for us. The next big Multi Gold show is going to be insane because we got Mayu versus Io on that show. Definitely looking forward to that. But by and large, we've really taken the show in a different direction. So we kind of do it in three broad strokes, broad sections. It's wrestling, then politics, then just culture stuff, art stuff, media, all that stuff that we've consumed. In the week, man, the politics section is going to be a fucking whopper this week. I'm not really looking forward to getting into that, but we have to talk about it because if you're not raising the alarm bells about fascism, that makes fascism easier to just do what it wants to do. But to get to wrestling first, I really don't have a lot to say this week. I actually did watch one segment I know for sure, which is funny because Super Blue actually made that part of his Q&A. So Super Blue, we're probably going to get ahead of this. I watched Zelina Vega help Aleister Black buy him time for the fireball spot to beat Damian Priest in Last Man Standing. I really like Zelina as a manager. I still hope that she continues wrestling because I've enjoyed her as a wrestler. But as a manager, I mean, I love the work that she did with Andrade. I'm still honestly pissed that they never thought to put those two back together. Um, but her and Aleister, and especially Aleister getting this heel push, I'm just gonna say it. I know he wouldn't win, but like older me doesn't really care about that. I just want to see the people that I do respect getting high spots. So I would hope that Aleister maybe would have a little brief program with Cody for the WWE Championship with Zelina in Aleister's corner. I think there's a lot of promise in this pairing, and I'm intrigued by it. And I would be more invested in it if I cared about WWE and anything going on there. But I didn't think that was an interesting development. Did you? First of all, I guess just to hand the ball to you and set the table for you. Did you watch any of WWE this week? And did you know about what I'm talking about? And do you have any comments on that?
I did not watch, but I was aware of what you were talking about because I've had people tell me about it over the course of the last like 48 hours or 24 hours or 36 hours because SmackDown dropped at like 8 a.m. yesterday.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, I didn't actually see that. I did see. I shouldn't say I saw. I heard that that happened, and I also heard that Nakamura is back with his old theme as a babyface, and that he answered Sami Zayn's open challenge last night. Those are
Very
like
cool.
the two main talking points that I know about from SmackDown.
Yeah, I know. I also heard about the Nakamura stuff. I didn't watch the highlights of that, but I know Nak and Sammy have a lot of history, so that's really cool for Nakamura. Interesting that he's back as babyface. I wish WWE would start utilizing these pieces a bit more substantively. But that's neither here nor there. I did not see any of Crown Jewel in Perth. The only thing I know about, actually, that's kind of a lie. The only thing I know about, and this is because Angel messaged it to me, so shout out to Angel, love you, brother. He messaged me the custom introduction for AJ Styles that I guess John Cena wrote or whatever
Yeah.
that he had Alicia Taylor read out, and she of course killed it. She's an amazing ring announcer, and AJ wore like his old TNA gear. Cena apparently won the match. Again, I didn't see any highlights or anything like that. I'm just
Dude, I actually saw
well,
that because my mom watched the PLE tonight. I pulled it up for her to watch at like 7 tonight, something like that, because I was playing games with Gala. Um, No, the finishing sequence that Cena won with was a tombstone pile driver into an AA.
oh, that's crazy. Okay,
And the whole
Jesus.
match was just a tribute act. The whole match was just AJ and Cena doing signature and finisher moves of people that they've interacted with, basically. Like Cena did an RKO, and he tried to do a punt kick like Orton, and he did the fucking Sister Abigail with the kiss on the forehead and everything. And like, yeah, it was literally just like back and forth doing like signature and finisher moves of other people. And it was cool, but it was also like very, very self-indulgent.
Yeah, I feel like the best Cena Styles match for me would either be their Rumble match where Cena
Yeah,
won, I think, like what his 16th title or 15th,
I believe it was
or
his 16th. Yeah,
or their SummerSlam match before that, because that was
Ooh,
when AJ kicked out of a Super AA, and like Cena was like, "Fuck,"
I
and then
remember
AJ,
the Rumble match being my favorite.
yeah, that Rumble match was great. Um, so yeah, that's really all the wrestling I cared about.
Oh, there was one other kind of big development from SmackDown that I knew about. The MFT are doing like crazy like run-in segments all throughout the show, and they all have their face painted now.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see how that
Well,
works
I
out for
say
them.
all but Solo. Like the first time it happened was I believe during the Zayn Nakamura match. Nakamura was actually lining up to hit a Kinshasa to win the match on Sammy. He had already hit one earlier in the match, so it would have been like the second or maybe even third if I missed one. So he would have won the match probably if he would have hit it. But Tamatonga in a hoodie grabbed him by the foot, pulled him out, threw him over the guardrail, and then he revealed that it was he had his face painted like he used to in New Japan, where it was like almost like a scream mask,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
and with like the long beard, making it look like the long mouth kind of thing, and the scream mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get what you mean.
And then Tala Tonga Hikuleo showed up. He has his face painted, and then yeah, both Tangaloa and Cobb had different face paint styles as well. So all of them had like the red, black, and white face paint going on, and they look cool as hell. And they attacked those guys, and then later on in the night, they also attacked the tag title match, which was Street Profits challenging Wyatt Six, and it seemed like they were wanting to go after the tag titles as well. So they're probably going to go after the U.S. title and the tag titles going forward. But they look cool at least.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. So I guess I'm just gonna hand it over to you, just in the sense of, I know you didn't like watch much WWE, like me, you only knew a few things. Did you watch any AEW or completely know about AEW? Because I'm just wondering if we can already move on from our wrestling segment of the show,
Yeah,
just because you and I were that checked out.
here's my thing. Because of the fact that my mom is still actively watching the WWE product, I pick up on things mostly on SmackDown because, like we use a VPN to watch this stuff, and we don't need a VPN for my mom to be able to watch Raw on her computer. So she does that. But she doesn't have the VPN on her computer, so we can't watch NXT or SmackDown on her. She can't watch NXT or SmackDown on her computer. That would have to be on the TV. And neither one of us watches Smack or NXT anymore. I'm totally checked out of that product. And she does actively want to watch SmackDown every week, so that ends up on the TV. So I pick up more from that than anything, which is why you're hearing me actually be able to talk about shit that happened on SmackDown yesterday. But I have no clue what happened on Raw, and even less of a clue what happened on NXT this week. And I watch AEW less than I watch any of that stuff.
Yeah, so I guess with that, I'm just ready to move on to our next section of the show.
Were there any like
Um,
controversies in wrestling this week that we could talk about that aren't part of the product?
any controversies that aren't part of the product. I mean, Raja Jackson, I think, right? Something was happening with this court hearing, and
Oh, I
that's just
didn't know
more of an
about that.
industry-based thing. Yeah. What was it that was said? Was it in the wrestling news channel in our Discord? Um, yeah, yeah, it was. So he pleaded not guilty to criminal charges related to the Psycho Stu incident. He's due back in court in November. Prosecutors say he's facing up to 7 years in prison if convicted on the felony count, and up to 6 more months if convicted on the misdemeanor. Um, I'm gonna say this as a guy that's been pretty outspoken about the carceral state and like the racialist components of the carceral state and disproportionate sentencing and stuff like that. This is not a case where I feel like that might be a factor here. I mean, that video was bad. Like that was really bad. So I'll be curious to see if he's able to get away with it. But that's the only quote unquote controversy I've heard, was just that whole horrible incident. I really haven't heard anything else this week.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I guess yeah, we can already move on. But man, oh man, this is gonna be
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, this is a rough fucking week. So let me start from most concern. Well, I mean, it's all concerning, right? But what I consider to be most concerning, um, the mega regime is already trying to, I guess, preempt and get ahead of the No Kings protests next week.
Yeah.
Because Mike Johnson came out and did an interview where he said, I'm a very patient guy, but I'm really getting sick of this. We already know that Antifa and these like anti-American forces are doing like a rally October 18th. So this is trying to set up a pretext to me to take these No Kings protests, which is mainly populated by like liberals and I think disaffected conservatives and stuff like that. There are no radical elements a part of these protests, which that's not even a diss. That's just a fact, right? They're trying to make it seem like this is Antifa, and I don't know what that's going to mean as far as force. Like, what are they going to try and get cops to do, ICE to do, National Guard to do, whatever. Um, so that was concerning. But I think the other concerning stuff that we really need to be mindful of, if for no other reason for how we protect ourselves going forward, Russ Vogt is having a fucking field day with this shutdown because I've more or less heard that the CDC is destroyed. Now, there's a bit of conflicting messaging here because on one hand, there were mass firings at the CDC, but I also saw that the New York Times ran a piece that there were actually a lot of rehirings because a lot of people that were fired were in charge of like monitoring measles and stuff like that. So I think there was firings, but then there was also like a recoup. And that's happened before, though, with this regime because they're incompetent. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. See, that's part of the thing. They very clearly have a worldview where they want to destroy the administrative state and the federal government, right? But like, and I understand that, and I want to make it clear that like I understand that, and I'm mindful of that. But I also don't think it's untrue to say that part of why they want to destroy it is because of a deep-rooted ignorance of how those things function and how vital those things are, in certain operations of day-to-day life. Like I know there was a story several months ago. I want to say like a year ago, but we're not even a year into the second term, as crazy as that is with everything that's fucking happened. Where Russ Vogt accidentally almost deleted, I think he caught himself, something to do with the housing market that would have sent the economy into fucking free fall, and somebody stopped him. But like he would have done that, and I think that was more based on ignorance. Like, oh, why do we need this? If you fucking do that, the economy is going to be in free fall. So I think a lot of it really is just political illiteracy combined with a very malevolent vision for the country, which is a white Christian nationalist vision, which the only way they could implement that vision is what the fuck they're doing, because if you're talking about popular support, they are underwater on every issue. Guys, I need to stress one thing that still leaves me shell-shocked. This regime has been so bad in less than a year in its second term. Immigration's at an all-time high in terms of approval. And that's crazy to me because I always feel like America, especially the last few years, has been further to the right on immigration. And now it's like you'd almost think that we're a progressive country with how like popular a sentiment immigration is, just because of how awful this regime is. So that was one thing. Russ Vogt's having a field day, and I already talked about Mike Johnson. Another big thing is the Qatar base that's going to be built on American soil. Now, it's interesting. Me as a leftist, a far leftist, and I know you're a far leftist too, kind of reading this because I kind of chuckle to myself because on one hand, the far right hates this because their whole thing is like ethno state, and Laura Loomer especially was crashing the fuck out over this because she's like, I don't understand why, we're supporting the Islamification of the country. And it was like a lot of Islamophobia coming from Loomer and stuff. And the only reason I think that's significant is she has had Trump's ear in the past. Several months ago, she actually got in his ear about firing 6 national security advisors because they were, quote, insufficiently loyal to the president. And like she told him to fire them, and he did. So she's definitely had weight in the regime, right? So for her to say this, and for her to even say she capped it off by saying, I don't think I'm going to vote in 2026, I thought was very interesting. So we'll have to see if anything comes of that.
That could have also just been a signal that she's not going to need to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's been saying they're acting so recklessly because they feel like they're not going to have to run again. And I think that is 100% true as far as like they believe that. What I find interesting though, and we really need to see, this is why, because I had just Alex, and I haven't responded to him yet personally. And I don't even know if he listens to the show. I doubt he listens to the show, but I'm going to kind of answer him here, and then I'll probably answer him personally another time. But he asked me, like, oh, what are your thoughts on the whole purple revolution? Conservatives and liberals coming together. And on one hand, I don't want to poo-poo it, right? Because fascism needs any resistance that can go up against it. I mean, it's fucking fascism, and it's as grave as it fucking gets, right? But where I am just, I guess, so tired is like we can't treat it like it's malevolent individual agents. It is. I mean, Stephen Miller's fucking odious. Russ Vogt is fucking odious. Yes, that's all true. But unless you're willing to have a conversation about systems and systemic violence and systemic inequity and disenfranchisement, and unless you're willing to shift your consciousness on certain issues, like you look at conservatives, right? They're you know moving away from Trump. Even people that said I voted for him 3 times, they're mainly moving away from him because Israel's fucking underwater, which is a good thing. I mean, I was even talking to my brother-in-law, and I think he was surprised to know that, like, no, even Democratic officials are moving away from AIPAC and just Zionism because their voting base vehemently rejects it if the polling's to be believed. Like, Israel is fucking cooked. I think we're getting ready to see a generation of politicians that if you don't say, at the very least, that you aren't going to fund Israel, you're probably not going to get the vote of people because they're done. I mean, polling I saw on CNN recently even saw that before people really became aware of the genocide, like Israeli support was plus 48. And now today, Palestine support is +1. So, like, Israel lost all of that support, and now the scales are slowly tipping to, like, pro-Palestinian stance. And I think that's only going to grow as time goes on, right? Because Netanyahu can't fucking help himself. He called The Hague anti-Semitic for Christ's sake. So, yeah, I mean, we're seeing like a fucking a watershed kind of shift, there. But at the same time, I'm starting to think that like most former mega are moving away or breaking away because it's affecting them personally. Like you haven't learned empathy, right? You haven't really had a meaningful ideological shift in my mind. It's only, oh, well, the economy still sucks for me, or I didn't get my manufacturing job back that he said I would get back, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's not invalid, but you see why concentration camps are bad, right? Or you see why dehumanizing X is bad, right? And I don't think they have. So that's why it's hard for me to get excited about a purple revolution, because what really is going to change? Unless we have a massive like mindset change, it's resistance, I guess, but is it going to mean anything in the long term? I honestly don't know. But I feel like I've been talking a lot, so let's take a breath here. Let me ask you, have you been hearing about this Purple Revolution for one? Because I've seen
No.
several videos about it. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much the coalition of Republicans and Democrats to come together to stop the Trump regime. Just again through protesting, through like voting him out, through I guess calling for impeachment, whatever, right? So I've been seeing a few videos about that. You said you haven't seen anything about that, but I guess just your general sentiments about like Trump's growing unpopularity. Do you think anything will come of it? Do you think anything will come of No Kings protest next week? How are you feeling about the state of things from your perspective?
I think the thing that definitely has me the most concerned is the growing effort by the regime to make being anti-fascist illegal.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
ridiculous. It's something that I think a lot of us were actually worried about the Biden regime doing at one point, and they never went through with it. And now, of course, Trump has power and he's doing it, and he's got full support, full throated support from all of Congress, from all of his aides, everyone, because of course he does, right? Um, that is, I mean, I saw a news story just the other day about a guy, I want to say it was in Tennessee, who posted a meme about Trump trying to get people to move on from a school shooting. And he was arrested and spent legit jail time for making a threat, basically, because the meme talked about a school shooting. People interpreted that as him threatening to shoot up a school.
I keep saying we need a concerted effort to up media literacy in this country. And I even have gaps in my game. It's not trying to me put myself above anybody, but like it was very clear what the guy was trying to do when I read the article about that. And like, I don't know, I fucking hate it here. Yeah, and while we're speaking about the regime and things that they're doing because they just want to do it and fuck everybody else, I am really worried about Venezuela right about now because fishermen boats are still getting fucking attacked and innocent people killed. It is very clear. I mean, even the New York Times called it out that they want to do regime change, that they want to oust the Maduro government. Which, hey, listen, again, I am a far leftist. I don't know much about the Maduro government. I know it's not perfect, but here's something else that I know. Any US installed government is going to suck for those people historically, because the puppet dictator or president or whatever the fuck you want to call it is always going to, like, bend to US interests. They want the Venezuelan petroleum, because I know Venezuela is a huge producer of petroleum. They want the oil. Trump has said explicitly, we want the fucking oil, because he's so fucking obsessed with oil, even though fucking renewable energy is at an all-time high to where it's outperforming fucking oil and gas, and it's actually cheaper than oil and gas at this point. And like everybody, the whole international
No, but it's
community,
woke though. We can't do it because it's woke.
I know, bud. I know. I know you were sarcastic, but just like that fucking word and that fucking term, which thankfully,
I'm not
I
even
wonder
being
if that word.
sarcastic. That's genuinely the reason.
Yeah, well, no, it's genuinely the reason, but like the way you said it, it's like, well, yeah, like clearly this is a real concern when we all know that it's not. Um, but I almost wonder if the idea of woke is starting to lose steam, because I think they're just using it for fucking everything. That even like some like right wing people are like, really, and especially with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. See, I think the way they reacted to Charlie Kirk came back to bite them in the ass in a way, because it's like, wait, weren't you talking about the liberals being snowflakes for so long? And now you're being like this about Charlie Kirk. And like, yeah, I think people are starting to put two and two together, which would have been really fucking easy to do if you were paying attention the whole time. But again, better late than never, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to be patient today. I got to be honest with you. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm worried about Venezuela because fishermen boats keep getting attacked. Maduro even said it. Maduro apparently was even like, listen, whatever you want, I'll cancel deals with this country and this country and this country that I had going. Just stop. Can you please just stop? And the U.S. is like, no, we're not going to stop. They want to do full regime change. And the funny fucking thing, and this is why I need liberals to like focus up and know what's going on. They were like laughing at him and dancing when Trump didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. But the woman that did, she's been an agitator against the Maduro government for years. And she even tried to like coup her own country, and she's like very reactionary. And of course, she does it under the pretext of democracy. And again, I'm not saying the Maduro government's perfect, but anytime that you like do US talking points and do US shit, I get a little weary, right? And I get a little sus. And she even dedicated her Nobel Prize to Trump and like the US government for helping in her effort to liberate Venezuela. So what the fuck do you think's going to happen? They're going to try and get rid of Maduro. They'll install her to make it seem like, oh my God, what a beautiful moment. And then yeah, she's going to help U.S. interests with like natural resources and shit. It's the same way with the fucking Gaza deal that they're celebrating. Like, oh, Hamas and Israel doing a deal finally. Which, by the way, side note, the new president of CBS, Barry Weiss, who's like an avowed Zionist, she thought her first act as president was like, I know, we'll get like a round table with Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice. And the last I checked, it was only a little over 1,000 views. And like the people that commented on it were just calling Barry Weiss out and saying how fucking shit she is. So again, that just shows you how underwater Israel is as an entity. Nobody's buying it. Nobody fucking wants it. Go the fuck away. But yeah, even that we've heard for months that they're treating Gaza like a real estate deal. That they want to they want to transform it. They want to the Trump made that fucking AI video he posted on Truth Social with like gold statues of himself and shit, having margaritas with Netanyahu on the fucking beach. Like it's deranged. It's fucking deranged, sick, disgusting shit. And we're in the worst fucking timeline. The only positivity I take out of it, to be perfectly honest with you, is that they are so incompetent, even though we're still suffering for their incompetence. And again, like Trump, I'm pretty sure is going through multiple health crises. I don't think he's going to make it through the year, but we'll see if he fucking does. I'm certainly not going to make 2 years, or really, I should just say he's not going to make his whole term. I really don't think he's going to make his whole fucking term. And yeah, it's just pathetic, honestly, watching this regime.
But
Uh,
John, didn't you
yeah,
see he's actually in perfect health cardiovascularly and otherwise?
yeah, because I posted that presidential notice from the doctor. Which, by the way, to all you MAGA anti-vaxxers out there that were so fucking psyched about RFK and everything, Trump got his COVID booster and his flu shot. Funny how that works, huh? Funny how
Hmm.
that fucking works. That like, I really And this is how I'm going to end the politics section because I know I just rattled off a lot of news, but here's some analysis for you to kind of go with it. As a disabled person, and I know a lot of our audience, including you, partner, can relate to that because we all have disabilities in one form or another. I really wish people could see. Well, the people that genuinely don't see, I think a lot of people do see and they're excited about it, and that makes me sick. But I do genuinely think there are people that think this is a genuine health movement. No, it's a eugenics movement. Like, rich people will still have the health care. That's the thing. They'll still have the vaccines, they'll still do the vaccines. Why they do these talking points is because they hate poor people. They look down on poor and disabled people, and that's been forever.
Oh,
And
you
they
mean the
want us,
homeless industrial complex?
yeah, the homeless fuck, dude. I still can't believe that was a real thing. And again, thank you for reminding me of that because it's another reason why I just want to rip my brainstem out and just not fucking be here. But no, it's always been about eugenics. It's always been about to them purifying the political pool and just getting rid of quote unquote all the defectives and shit like that. That's why you see that they gutted the CDC, even though they did some rehirings. It's probably fucking non-functional, which is scary for a guy like me because I'll tell you on a week-to-week basis, I go to the CDC website to get wastewater data on COVID. My state went from low to moderate, so that there's like an uptick in COVID cases in my area. They just want to completely destroy the United States so that from the ruins they can rebuild it into again that white Christian nationalist worldview. But here's the fucking thing that always gets me about like racists and fascists. White people don't need housing. White people don't need health care. Like even like but see, and that's why though there's also the class element to it because they also hate poor people. And that's where a lot of white people, even in this new fucking framework, are going to fit. So really it's better to say a white oligarchic Christian nationalist society because only the oligarchs will be able to protect themselves from climate catastrophe, um, biological catastrophe, as far as like pandemics and ecological destruction and stuff like that. Like, yeah, they're the only ones that are going to be insulated from that. But even them, your insulation's only going to last so fucking long unless you're really depending on fucking Elon Musk of all people to take you to fucking Mars. So yeah, not a good week this week. Not a good fucking week. It's terrifying, and honestly, I'm even more scared now for No Kings next week than I was before, just because of Mike Johnson's rhetoric and everything. And like you said earlier, everything they're doing to make being anti-fascist illegal. Which I mean, really think on that, folks. Who would want to make anti-fascism illegal? Exactly. So just a rough fucking time, man. Just a rough fucking time. But I think that covers it for politics. So now we can move on to pop culture, which is the most fun segment. Um, and so yeah, what did we watched The Collector? Like what was that? Fucking 2 nights ago. That
Yeah,
fucking
something
sucked.
like that.
Yeah, that fucking sucked. That was a horrible horror movie. Well,
Hmm.
last night we watched Over the Garden Wall. That was the complete opposite. That was actually a very wonderful show,
Hmm.
and I thoroughly enjoyed that. What were your overall thoughts? And you've had some time to digest the Over the Garden Wall.
Oh yeah, I thought that Over the Garden Wall was quite cool. I really enjoyed that. It was very peaceful in some ways, but it did have some more like eerie aspects. I absolutely loved the Gregory character. He was a wholesome being. I adored him. He reminded me of Abel in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Um, and I think that the art was really nice, and I loved the voice cast, especially Elijah Wood and Christopher Lloyd. They were both great. Melanie Linsky was really good too as Beatrice. It was really fun though. I enjoyed it. Also, very recently, we finished out Peacemaker season 2 just on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, and season three ain't gonna be coming for a while. I saw an interview from James Gunn that said like the whole point of that finished Peacemaker season two, him going through that dimensional door to salvation, that very human or that very earth looking environment, is I guess to set up for future DCU movies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be curious where we see Peacemaker return because it's not gonna be in his own show apparently for a while. But I thoroughly enjoyed the season. I think I slightly prefer it to season one on the whole. And yeah, I think John Cena's acting has gotten so much better, man. What an actor John Cena's become.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on season two now that it's over and you've had some time to process it? Do you think you enjoyed it more than season one, or
Definitely not more than season 1. Season 1 was such a different animal than season 2. season one had so many like fun shenanigans and goofy stuff in it, and I think that there was a lot more really effective comedy in season one from everyone, whereas in season two the comedy was almost exclusively coming from Adrian, which I also enjoy. Adrian is probably my the funniest character to me. I don't know if I'd say my favorite character, but probably the funniest character in the show to me. Uh, but yeah, no, season two was really a lot more serious, a lot more grounded. Um, Mostly because it was basically about healing in a lot of ways. It was about Chris trying to amend for his mistakes, trying to find love with Harcourt. There was a lot more serious subjects in season one, where season two, or I'm sorry, other way around, more serious subjects in season two, where season one definitely felt a lot more camp, a lot goofier. Um, you still had Chris kind of acting a fool in a lot of ways. Um, Very early on in the season, we had just goofy ass scenes of like John Cena dancing in tidy whities and shit, and that kind of stuff is always just hilarious to me. And then, as the season goes on, you get more like sort of supernatural sci-fi elements, which were in season two, but I think that I enjoyed the sci-fi element of season one more because season two, the whole sci-fi element was multiverse, which I feel like we've seen done to death at this point, and I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah, that is a fair criticism about the overuse of multiverse, especially now that we're getting it like from both the DCU and the MCU. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a bit overexposed. Although I will say, to Peacemaker's credit for me, that was probably the most I've enjoyed the kind of multiverse concept in a while because the whole hook of it was Chris just having unresolved emotional grief, over his brother and the way his father turned out and everything, and to use the dimensional door, like as a kind of a plot
An
device
escape.
and an escape for that, and kind of a narrative framing for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of the better uses of that concept in a while for me. But I also do get your general criticism that like, yeah, it's around a lot for sure, and we might want to dial that back a bit. Um, yeah, let's think about what other like actually I could even go in our group chat, you, me, and Bestie, and I could see everything you checked off because you're so good at like keeping everything organized and together. So let's see, related to this week, what we watched will probably jump out of me. So again, we
Oh, I
did
can tell you,
Collector.
I have it. I'm keeping track. We watched the movies that we watched this week were Talk to Me, The Mist, and Honey Don't.
Yeah, so talk to me and the Mist is this week. So A Quiet Place wasn't this week because I thought The Quiet Place was also this week. The
Yeah,
trilogy.
you know what? You're right. I've been failing at keeping up because we did all
Yeah.
three of those movies in one night. That was nuts.
To be fair to you, on the list that you sent in the group chat with me, you, and your mom, like you do have the green checkbox by A Quiet Place 1 through 3, so you're keeping up fine. It's just you probably just forgot like for this show that we did that this week, but yeah, we did. Um, I will say A Quiet Place 3, definitely the weakest of the trilogy. The
Yeah.
first one is a fucking I think you even said it's a damn near masterpiece, if not just a masterpiece. I love it. The first one, that's one I could watch every year. Honestly, it's so good. Just so good.
Oh yeah, we also
Yeah, and
did The Craft this week.
The Craft was so good, man. That was a
Yeah.
nice hit of nostalgia. Fucking late '90s, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And is it Neve Campbell or Nev Campbell? How do you pronounce her name?
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell, swoon. Oh my god, what a fucking beautiful woman, and they knew it because her character Bonnie was like, "I want to be beautiful," and I'm like, "Bitch, if people wouldn't look over your burns for everything else you got going on, that's a them problem." And
Yeah.
yeah, goddamn,
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah. She looks great in that for sure.
Yeah. What else did we do? Did we do? I guess we just did movies this week because we really didn't do any.
Well,
Well,
we did do Gen V season two, episode 6.
oh yeah, that's also been really good. I've been
Yeah.
enjoying Gen V. It's nice to have that back in the queue.
Definitely. Yeah. That Talk to Me movie was the first movie that we watched this week, and that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because with my family today, I was telling you this before we went live. The same people that directed that movie, they directed another movie called Bring Her Back that I watched with the family, and I fucking hated that movie. So like, I think these directors are just not it for me. I mean, I'm all for people making their art. I was even saying that in Discord this week that Rian Johnson, who makes the Knives Out movies, he's like, "Oh, I could make these forever," and I'm like, you know what? You do you. You do you. So I support people making their art, but that doesn't mean I have to consume all of it. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with these guys. That movie sucked. Talk to Me was okay. Like I thought it was a pretty solid entry for them, but yeah, I don't really care to see what they're doing next. Yeah, what I know the we already agreed that the collector sucked. I know all of us kind of went in on that movie on different ways, and yeah. Apparently, bro, it's so funny that you said that that movie wanted to be Saw so bad because apparently that was meant to be a Saw prequel movie, and then something happened where that just went to the wayside. So
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, I think you're kind of indicated there from what I heard. So there you go. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much been. Have you listened to any like new music this week? Any
Well, I wanted
music
to
you've listened
ask
to?
you if you wanted to talk about the mist at all.
The Mist was interesting. I think honestly, and I'm not saying this as a diss of like, oh, because it ended. I really do think the strongest point of that movie for me was the ending, like the final 5 minutes. Because that was some crazy shit. You know, I'm gonna do a mercy killing on everybody, including my child who's looking at me before I pull the trigger. And then I find out that's not needed because the U.S. military came in finally in the ninth fucking inning, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we're doing stuff. We're killing these monsters." Um, that is fucked. In fact, I almost wish there was a sequel movie. Just seeing him like try and cope with that and lose his mind throughout the movie because I also feel like that would have been interesting. Or even if that would have been the movie, like you just say like, "Oh, you think we're doing monsters, but we're not." That's just the setup for the actual movie, and that's a guy with survivor's guilt descending into insanity. That could have been interesting because yeah, that was fucked. That dude got fucked. What did you think of the movie actually? Since you broached the subject,
I love the mist. I'm a big fan of
guys.
that movie. Actually, I've seen it now. This is probably my fourth or fifth time seeing that movie, honestly. And I do think that every time I watch it, I notice something different or new. Like this time, I really just loved Toby Jones's character this time around, and I don't remember ever really having positive feelings for him in the past. But like everything that he said ended up being right. He stood up for the right people. He stood up for the right things. He was the one that ended up shooting and killing the crazy religious woman, and I was rooting for him that whole time. I was hollering like, yeah, that was. I forget what his character's name was, but I absolutely loved his character in
Ollie,
this.
right?
Ollie, yeah, that's right. Yep, you got it. Yeah. I thought that Ollie was fantastic. He was definitely my favorite character in the movie. Um, I also thought it was hilarious when the the one kid, the one that I think played fucking Shermanator in American Pie, was like the one that was like getting all like brave and offering to go do something outside, and he was the one that ended up dying first. He got wrapped up by that tentacle and stabbed and shit. And I was like, God damn. Another cool thing about watching it more recently is just being able to recognize and notice all of the familiar actors and actresses that I didn't realize. Because like when we first started watching it and we saw Jeffrey DeMunn walk into the grocery store, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Dale. And then next thing you know, we see Laurie Holden, that's Andrea, and I'm like, this has got to be Frank Darabont, right? Because these are all Frank Darabont's like frequently used actors and actresses. And then Samuel Whitwer was in it too, and Melissa McBride was in it. It's like, damn, where's Michael Rooker? You know, like it's like
Yeah.
all of these like Frank Darabont people, and yeah, it's so funny how Frank Darabont literally made The Walking Dead a success, and then they were like, well, I think we're gonna cut your budget now. Fuck you, AMC.
Oh God. Yeah, I guess while we're on the subject of movies, another movie I watched with the family today was Morgan,
I never heard of
which
that
was
one. I don't think.
it's a 2016 movie. Now listen to this cast for 2016. Anya Taylor-Joy,
Love her.
Kate Mara, who you know I have a huge
Love
crush
her.
on.
Yep.
Paul Giamatti, my
I know
fucking
you
man.
love him. Yeah.
Oh God, he's
What
perfect.
made you love Paul Giamatti so much?
I mean, bro, first of all, first, I mean,
Aside from
we
the
could do a
baldness, I know you're gonna say baldness,
Well, I mean, no, actually, I was gonna say the face, which I mean, the totality of the head and everything. But I just love his acting style. I love his voice. I love his mannerisms on the screen. I love when he rages, in shows like Big Fat Liar, or movies like Big Fat Liar, and I loved him in Billions. I think he can also give more like muted human performances, like this past season of Black Mirror. My new favorite episode of Black Mirror of all time is Eulogy with Paul Giamatti. It's such a moving piece. I fucking cried at the end of it. He is a treasure. Paul Giamatti is perfect, and I will go to bat for that fucking man. And that's why if a scandal comes out, I'm gonna look so fucking bad. But I'm gonna be like, listen, I was merely talking about the actor. Uh, but no, it was a fun movie. And again, Kate Mara was in it, and she had like kind of like a short kind of cut, and I'm like, damn, is there anything this woman can't do that makes me fucking swoon? And yeah, it was a fun movie. I don't want to give too much away, but Anya Taylor Joy, her character, she's like this biological experiment, like the next evolution of life, according to the scientists that made her. And Kate Mara is a part of a containment unit. And that's all I'm going to say about that because it's very interesting. Oh, and by the way, one other person in the movie, Brian fucking Cox, who, if
Nice.
people don't know him, he was the bus driver in Trick or Treat. He is the main guy in Succession, like the main father who all the kids fight over his media empire. And most importantly, and yeah, I did bury the fucking lead, he was Agamemnon in Troy. And that's how it all fucking started for me, was that man gave the performance of a fucking, no, not even a generation. That's underselling it. Multiple generations. Who else? Marlon Brando? Fuck you. All right? Brian Cox is incredible. So yeah, that
He
movie,
also played William Stryker in the X2 X-Men movie.
you're goddamn right he did. And like that was a very quietly stacked cast for that fucking movie. So thank you, Morgan, for a very interesting cinematic experience. Um, but yeah, I guess just that's really it for me. I
Toby
don't know.
Jones is apparently in that movie too. I just looked up the cast, and apparently Toby Jones was in that too.
Yeah, dude, it was a fun movie. It was a fun movie. It's
Oh
it's not
wow,
like,
that's a
yeah.
really stacked cast. I'm seeing Rose Leslie, who was in Game of Thrones. You know, that's the woman that made the line "You know nothing, Jon Snow" famous.
Oh my, I think I know who was she, Amy?
Yes.
Oh my God, I see it now. It took you saying it for me to. Oh my God,
Yeah.
what?
Michelle Yeoh
That
was in it.
dude, that's fucking. I know about Michelle Yeoh, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy about the Amy character. Wow, what? You
Did
just
she
blew
have an
my.
accent in the movie?
No, that's what threw me off. She didn't
Oh
have an accent, and her look, like I didn't immediately recognize her, bro. Honest, and
yeah.
to be fair, if I hadn't seen Queen's Gambit, if I hadn't known that Anya Taylor Joy was in the movie, I wouldn't have recognized her either. Because, yeah, I don't know how old she was in 2016, but I wouldn't have put two and two together. I
Yeah.
would have been
There
like,
you
oh
go.
damn.
That's awesome.
All right, yeah, yeah. Any good music for you this week?
I don't think I discovered any new music this week or anything. Let me go over to the music channel because I do be posting. Um, let's see. I have my most recent anything of the day in music is the jam of the day, which was the Peacemaker season 2 intro theme.
Nice.
In music news, the women who performed as Huntrix in K-pop Demon Hunters were on Jimmy Fallon this week, and they received a platinum album as like a surprise gift, and they performed Golden, and it was fucking incredible. I love them.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Uh yeah. Fuck Jimmy Fallon, but I am happy for Huntrix. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Um yeah, oh dude, actually to circle back to wrestling for just a second. I mean, we do say this week in the world of wrestling, we should talk about the releases they had, right? Because I've just got
Oh
reminded
yeah.
of that
Well, that's
actually.
kind of an interesting thing because like we don't know which ones are releases, which ones are people who asked to be let go, which ones are just like contracts being let run out like that. Like we don't know really anything about these. Zeta Steel tweeted that she decided not to renew her WWE ID contract, and then we got something from Kylie Ray. Apparently, she was informed that her contract would not be renewed. So, and of course, the big one though, I'm also burying the lead here. The big one's Wesley. Wesley was released, and that is egregious.
It is. Should have never turned him fucking heel. You could have had a top fucking baby face in your company, and you were just like hard pass. I'm so happy we're done with this fucking company.
Did
And but
WWE
yeah,
just forget how good he is as a babyface? Like, it felt like they turned him heel kind of similarly to like the way that they turned like Braun Breaker face towards the end of his NXT run, just to kind of see if he could pull it off. And it's like they forgot that the heel run was supposed to be a test run and decided that that was just who he is and released him. It was crazy.
yeah, that. I mean, you already said the perfect word with egregious. I'm still gobsmacked over it, and like fuck WWE. I will say on a personal level, just because she really started to grow on me, like and evolve. I was disappointed that Gentala got released.
Jin Tala
I was
getting
really
released was heartbreaking too. Yeah, that's for
yeah.
sure. We both really liked her.
Yeah, I mean, God, just she was definitely putting it together. I liked her heel persona too. I didn't think her heel persona was bad. Even the few interviews she had with like Chewy, especially the one where it's like, what was that one line she had? Who said I was your friend or who said I was your buddy or something? That popped
Yeah,
me. Like,
yeah.
yeah, she had the goods, man. She had the goods, and WWE was just like, no, no, fuck you. And I'm just like, man, no, fuck you. What the fuck? Fuck.
Didn't she? Maybe not. Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say, didn't she win season one of LFG? But no, Tyra May Steele did.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets released soon too. I mean, this company really like Jesus fucking Christ.
The nerve.
Yeah, apparently Jamar Hampton, that was another disappointing one because I think he had a great look and his shirts were always fucking based. According to you, you told me that it seemed like he said right that he wasn't going to pursue wrestling anymore, like he was going to go on a different career path.
Yeah, he's
So
retiring from wrestling entirely.
you know what? Good for him because he still looks young as fuck, and probably retiring before he can have any like fucking horrible brain damage or whatever the fuck. So you know what? Good for him. I hope whatever he does, like I even said to you, I wonder if he's going to get more involved in politics and just advocacy and stuff because God knows we need every hand on deck right now with this fucking racist ass fucking country. I mean, it's always been a racist ass fucking country, but like overtly, willfully, let's do more policy that has it, all that fucking shit. Like, yeah, if he wants to get more involved in that, cool. If he's just doing something else entirely, cool. I wish him luck. I liked him. I liked him a lot. Um,
Uh, Draco Knox, who
Knox
we've
was
seen
okay.
several times as a security guard in NXT.
Yeah, he was okay. I have no ill will towards Draco Knox. Just didn't really leave an impression. I'll tell you, Stevie Turner was most intriguing to me because they never had her wrestle, and I'm wondering if she's gonna like go back to being a wrestler now.
She's a really solid wrestler too. It's funny. If I remember correctly, now I could be wrong here. My memory is very shoddy when it comes to wrestling. You all know that. I believe she was doing the like jump into the ropes lariat transitioned into a flatliner combination move before Liv Morgan started calling it Oblivion. Like before she started using that move at all.
Interesting.
So you could definitely
Yeah.
argue that Stevie Turner inspired Liv Morgan's finisher.
Yes. And dude, it's crazy because I don't know if she's gonna talk about this like in any interviews. I'm sure Chris Van Vliet is probably gonna want to get her on his show at some point. But like
That
it'd be very
fucking guy.
interesting. Beg pardon?
I just said that fucking guy.
Yeah, that fucking guy. Um, I don't know if like she's gonna spill the tea on was she waiting to wrestle? Did she hate that she didn't wrestle and she only got like a non-wrestling role? Because on one hand, right, like it gave her body a great chance to rest up. But on another hand, I'm sure she felt like antsy seeing other women do what she wanted to do. And for me, I'm looking around and I'm like, I wonder what she's gonna do now. I really am because I'm surprised that WWE never used her as general manager of Evolve to like get her in the title picture and be like, I used to be a wrestler and like I deserve to be Evolve Women's Champion or whatever. And they never did that. They really played her being a GM straight. There was never any underlying like insidiousness or anything like that. So I'm really curious what's going to happen with her career now because she hasn't wrestled in so long. So good luck to her there. And then everything else, it was just kind of whatever. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Wesley and we talked about the more notable releases. And yeah, that's pretty much it there. I think we pretty much talked about all the pop culture stuff that we'd want to talk about. So do we open up the forum for questions and start answering these questions that we got?
Yeah, we got a bunch of questions, mostly from Super Blue, but we got some from Alex Foster too. Let me open that document up. Here we go. First question from Super Blue. What are your preview and predictions for TNA Bound for Glory? Does TNA just do pay-per-views every other week at this point? Jesus Christ.
That's how it feels like for sure.
Frankie Kazarian is defending the international title against Steve Macklin.
I'll go with Macklin on that one.
Yeah. I want to say how long. Oh God, yeah. Kazarian just won the title from Macklin on September 26th, so I am going to pick Kazarian to retain.
Fair enough. Next.
Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller. Tessa's definitely winning this, right?
I hate it, but yeah, Tessa's winning.
X Division title match, and if you're tuning into this show, it's probably for this. Leon Slater defending against Javon Evans.
God, TNA needs to win fucking something. I feel like they're just handing titles to NXT, so I'm gonna go Leon Slater on this one.
I'm gonna play this a little bit different. I'm gonna pick Javon.
Understandable.
And then there's going to be like a brief moment in time when NXT people have literally all of TNA's titles, I think.
Yeah, and then they're just like teabagging TNA metaphorically. Like, how can you have a show without any championships?
Get NXT bagged.
Yeah. Oh my, this is why you need to be GM. Holy fucking shit.
Then we have a Call Your Shot gauntlet match, and it's intergender because Mance Warner and Lei Ying Lee are both announced for
it. Isn't this like the winners get title shots at like the World and Knockouts title or whatever the fuck? Like,
probably, yeah. I don't know though. I'm unfamiliar.
I don't even know how to predict who's going to win this. Maybe Ali, because you only mentioned two people, right? So obviously multiple people are going to be in a.
The only other person that's been announced is somebody named BDE, who I am completely unfamiliar with.
I'm just going to go. I'm going to assume that Ali is going to be in it for the men, and I'm just going to go with him because he deserves a TNA World Title shot and fuck everyone else.
Yeah, Ali is not listed as. Oh wait, no, he is. He's in. Order 4 has a tag match against the System, so it's going to be Alicia Edwards, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, JDC, and Moose versus Jason Hotch, John Skyland, Mustafa Ali, Special Agent Zero, and Tasha Steelz.
So they're in a tag match, but not the gauntlet? Like, is that two separate things?
I assume that if they're in the tag match, that they're not going to be in the gauntlet.
Fuck. Then I don't know.
A name that I'm not seeing on this whole card that I think might be still with TNA is Cedric Alexander, so I'll pick him, I guess.
I guess I'll join you because I literally don't have any better options. So
I mean, realistically, if Mance Warner and Lei Ying Lee are announced, they might just win the thing. I have no clue.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. What are we going to talk about for that System versus Order 4 match? I already went over the
Order 4 better fucking win. And Ali I trust, baby, so I'm going with Order 4.
Okay, based on your confidence, I will agree and pick Order 4 with you. But just know that I never expect good things for Mustafa Ali, so in my heart of hearts, I really do believe the System's probably winning that, as much as I hate it.
You know what? I understand, and I appreciate you acknowledging that and still siding with me anyway. That makes me feel very assured.
Knockouts World Title match: Kalani Jordan defending against Indy Hartwell. I'm just gonna say Indy needs to fucking win here. Please let Indy win this match.
I would agree, but I'm gonna be pessimistic and I'm gonna go Kalani.
That's reasonable, and I hate it. We have a double tag title tables match. The Hardy Boys defending both the TNA and NXT tag titles against Team 3D.
So we're in hell.
Oh, yeah, we are, buddy. How much do you want to bet Team 3D win because it's a tables match?
Yeah, probably. Jesus fucking Christ. What's happening to the business?
Well,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God. Fuck.
it's the old white folks are thriving.
Oh, cool. So the people with like the total lack of fucking talent. Um, yeah, Team 3D, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
All
Maybe
right.
Bubble.
In the
Maybe,
world
yeah.
title match, the main event, Trick defending against Mike Santana. They finally pulled the trigger here, right?
Mike Santana better fucking win because I need Ali to become number one contender and then beat Mike Santana. He's a means to a greater end. So Mike Santana to win.
I like that we're both picking that.
I like your face. That's actually, I gotta tell you, your face is my favorite part of this whole segment because TNA fucking sucks scrot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they
All right, next question.
do. How do you feel about Santos re-signing with WWE?
I don't feel anything because WWE fucking sucks, and Santos is a very talented man that I would have liked to have seen get a brief main event. See, that's the thing. As I've gotten older, I really do think I've matured, like as a wrestling fan, and I still have expectations, but I would argue they are tempered expectations. I'd like to see Santos get a little main event push, which is different from saying, oh, I want him to be a 20-time world champion or even just a world champion. I think he's a great heel. I think he's great in the fucking ring. I like him a lot. And maybe he'll get more of a substantive push, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of those things where, like, for a month he feels important and then he drops off again. Look, if he's making good money and he can take care of his family, I know Santos is a very family-oriented guy. I'm happy for the dude. I understand economics, but if you're asking me as a wrestling fan who enjoys a particular wrestler, how I feel about it, I think it sucks fucking eggs. I don't think they deserve Santos. I don't think they know what they have in Santos, just like they didn't know what they had in Andrade. Which is really a shame because for as much as I respect Ray sincerely, for as much as I love taking the piss out of him, on a joking side, I do sincerely respect him and his staying power. You know, the Latino wrestling community they deserve more of a robust kind of wrestling culture than just Rey Mysterio and friends. I'm waiting for that next big star for them, at least in WWE, and I don't think it's going to happen.
I
Um,
mean, it does kind of feel like Penta.
Penta, a little. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just pessimistic about it if I'm perfectly honest with you. But we'll see. We'll see because I've heard about a potential push. We'll see how that goes. How do you feel about it, man? I know you love Santos like I do. So how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, cool for him. I would expect for this to lead to him getting more of a push because they offered him a pretty decent amount of money if he accepted the contract. So if the WWE is paying someone a pretty decent amount, you would assume that they would see that as a sunken cost fallacy and feel the need to use that person to justify how much they're paying them.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's my thoughts. Next question: how do you feel about Wesley's WWE career? Well, it was fan fucking tastic until they turned him heel, at which point it tanked.
This dude came back from a fucking back injury in record time only to be fucking cut. Like, see, this is okay. I'm probably about to spout some nonsense, but I need to get this off my chest. This is how you know there is a double fucking standard, or at the very least, if not a double standard, definitely an insidious standard, because Cody tears his pec and he competes, which was the stupid fucking thing to do. And they lauded, they're like, oh my God, what grit, what toughness, put the world title on him. Wes Lee actually takes care of himself. He's like, hey, it's my back. I can't do it anymore. And he drove it into the fucking ground to be the best North American champion he could be, always showing up for TV and everything else. So he actually chooses to take care of himself, but still makes the compromise of, I'm going to come back in record time from a fucking back injury, which has been a career ender for many people. It's how Sean lost his fucking
I
smile
mean,
after
it
all.
literally kept Randy Orton out of action for a year and a half.
Exactly. And you cut this man. You fucking cut this man rather than thinking, wow, at the very least, maybe because we're not going to put it on Javon fucking Evans, apparently, which also fucking confused me, that Wesley could be a future NXT champion at minimum. At minimum. I'd be looking at this dude and being like, holy shit, get me on the phone with Hunter right now. He needs to know about Wesley. He needs to know about the grit of this dude. We have a new top babyface. He got done so fucking dirty. So fucking dirty. He had an uphill climb because let's remember before this, he was in the tag team with Nash Carter, and then the Kimberly controversy happened. And then Nash Carter had to leave. And then we all worried about Wes because we know traditionally when a tag team gets broken up, it's like, hey, either you do singles or you can get fucked. Wesley does singles. He does it fucking beautifully, gets major fucking over, and he still loses. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. And like, I honestly, in a weird way, feel angrier about Wesley than I have about most releases, even including when Keith Lee got released back in the day for WWE. And I think it's because, like, in one way, I always knew those other guys would be okay, and I'm sure Wesley in his own way will be okay. But like, I felt like this should have been it for him, you know, because he had been in Lucha Underground, he had been in TNA. I felt like this should have been it for him. And he really, really put his best foot forward. They always want to talk about work ethic. They always want to talk about, they always want to put so much on the talent and so little on the bookers and writers. Like, oh, this doesn't happen. It's the workers' fault. And this guy, again, just to repeat for the umpteenth time for everybody, came back from a back injury in record time. And I guarantee you they're probably still going to spin it like, oh, you know, West just wasn't clicking as a heel. Oh, so we're just going to fault him for that rather than just doing what he's really good at, which is being a fucking babyface. God, like, I hate this company so much. So how was his career? It was fun. It had a lot of fun fucking moments, and it should have had a lot of more fun fucking moments if they didn't fucking screw him over. And then what's going to happen to Tyson and Tyreek now? Because I actually also really like those guys. Like, I'm so over wrestling, man. It's just, wrestling is nothing but getting excited about things only to inevitably be disappointed by those things. Unless you really luck out and you like a top guy, like anybody that liked Hogan, anybody that likes Cena or Austin. I'm not even trying to hate on, well, you know, fuck Hulk Hogan, and to a degree, fuck Austin. Cena, honestly, even kind of fuck Cena for how he likes Vince, but you know, that's whatever. But like, yeah, unless you like somebody that is going to end up being a top person, I just feel like being a wrestling fan is so fucking painful. So fucking painful because the people you love, the company is never going to love them back how you want them to. And yeah, Wesley got done so fucking dirty. So fucking dirty. Fuck WWE. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I didn't expect a rant to come out. I apologize. But yeah, that just makes me so fucking angry.
Yeah,
Next.
that's a very reasonable amount of anger, though. I honestly think that I'm just so numb to how shitty WWE is that I've stopped caring enough to rant about it.
Listen to me right now. You are beautiful, and you made a choice for your own health and sanity to not give them the energy that you know is wasted because you know they're not going to change as a culture. You're the sensible one, and I'm so fucking proud of you. So let's move on from this fucking dumpster fire. What's the next question we got?
How do you feel about Zelina Vega helping Black beat Priest?
We already kind of talked about this, but I guess to go a bit more in depth into it, I mean, again, I hope that this is a pairing that gets Black at least briefly in the main event scene. I would like to see Black lay Cody the fuck out as Zelina kind of antagonizes Cody between weeks because maybe they don't want Aleister on the mic as much, so he could be more of a kind of a specter, you know, kind of an ominous presence. I think it can work. I think it can get Black to the main event if they want it to. I just hope it doesn't run out of fuel in like a month or at most 3 months. I think you can really make something of this. So I'm excited about it. I don't know if Ashton wants to add anything to that, but those are just my general thoughts.
I think it is very interesting that they've aligned her with him because I feel like she has been doing so little, but when she does anything, she's like the ultimate baby face. So to have her so very obviously turn heel by helping the obviously heel Black, I think that's an interesting choice. I agree with what you said earlier about her being a really good manager, though, so hopefully it works out well. Last time she managed to someone, she managed them to the world title. So I would love to see Alistair be the one to beat Cody, especially because they even have history in AEW of Alistair as Malachi showing up and beating Cody for the title he was holding at the time.
Dude, yeah, like I am telling you, if you want an upset of the year, like a shock of the year positively for me that would make me pop my fucking face off,
Yeah.
it's Aleister Black beating Cody for the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I will be honest and I will be straight up because I never want to be a hypocrite. So I'm announcing this publicly. If somebody told me that happened, I would go back and watch the final 5 minutes of that match to see that happen because I do love Aleister Black like a lot. And yeah, that'd be so fucking cool. So we'll see. We'll see. Shouldn't get my hopes up.
Well, we kind of already answered this one too. The fifth question is, how do you feel about the Nobel Peace Prize winner? You went over that in great detail earlier, so I'm going to just move
Yeah.
on unless you want to add anything.
No, just she can go fuck herself too. Nobel Peace Prize is a joke. I mean, they gave it to Obama for like fucking doing massive drone strikes and whatever the fuck. So it's a joke. But yeah, next question.
I need you to know that I'm not using these words. These are Super Blues words, and I'm just quoting them back. He
Okay.
said, in his words, "Why does the lesser twin Jay Uso think he's a badass now? This cheap shot artist attacked LA Knight like a coward."
I'm not. I'm not dignifying this. I'm not.
Great decision.
Yeah.
Next question: what are your high
Yeah.
spots and low shots for this week in life?
In life, I'm gonna say high spot. I mean, God, if we're being honest, evil's the high spot again this week. These fucking oligarchs keep making bank. Um, but no, I'm gonna
High
say, you know
spot,
what?
old rich white people.
You know what? No. I mean, yes. Yes, I'm not trying to be antagonistic to your face, but I'm saying no to myself to give in to the pessimism. I am going to give it to somebody that deserves it. My high spot's Greta Thunberg because she's amazing. She is amazing. I mean,
She's a badass. Yeah.
the courage of this young woman to be, and here's the thing, I love what the left, because we're right about everything and everybody else just doesn't know it yet. I love what the left says about her because she was the talk of the town, even with like the Clintons and stuff, because they probably thought she was going to grow up to be some milquetoast liberal that worked at like a nonprofit or whatever, and did climate stuff, but didn't really do anything that challenged the capitalist order. When they knew that she actually stood on fucking business, crickets. I had mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize just 5 seconds ago. She fucking deserves a Nobel Peace Prize because she has done more to try and materially stop a genocide than all of quote unquote Western civilization put together. It took them so long to even have the most epic response of, oh, well, we'll send ships to back up your flotilla. Her flotilla, by the way, like her organization, whatever they put together, the other countries followed her lead. I want people to really fucking think about that. Other countries were following her fucking lead, and she doesn't get a note. I know you have to go through a submission process and everything else, but I'm just saying, like, just in general, right? Like, if you're talking about a worthy candidate for anything, it's this fucking girl. Which, by the way, when Israel detained her, they fucking dragged her by her hair. They fucking tried to humiliate her, and she came out and she said, "Keep the attention on Gaza." I tell you guys this as somebody that is 33 in a rural area, and I have a lot of bark, and my bite, unfortunately, is very weak. I have said all the time that I consider myself a very shitty leftist. I have never tried to make any pretense whatsoever that I'm anything more than what I am. Greta Thunberg is just the activist in general. Even if you're liberal, even if you're not as far left as Ash and I, she is the type of activist generally that we should all aspire to be. She is a fucking badass. So yeah, I'm giving her my high spot because you know what? She's not giving into the doom. She still tried to do something, even in the darkest fucking hour. And I want to point out that her flotilla was so successful, Palestinians were able to fish and fucking eat. So yeah, easiest fucking high spot of my fucking life because she didn't give in to the doom. She didn't give in to the sadness of, well, what are we gonna do? It's big scary Israel with US money and they've already done so much. She's like, no, because even saving one fucking life is one more than what inaction would have saved. I fucking bow to you, lady. I fucking bow to you. So that's my high spot.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck Greta Thunberg fucking rules. Low shots. Oh God.
Obama.
Dude, fuck Obama so hard, man. I am so sick of the liberal fucking meat riding of this fucking dude. When really he was the best conservative president since fucking Reagan. Even the healthcare plan was a fucking Heritage Foundation plan originally that they had to like make less odious. God, dude, I am telling you, if I was president, given that apparently nothing matters, right? Because you could do everything through unilateral power and fucking executive order. The first thing I would do is dismantle the Heritage Foundation. I'd be like, we're now listing you as a terrorist organization and you're being fucking defunded. Anybody that funds you is going to go on a watch list. I would.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what should be done. Yeah.
yeah, honestly, because I really like, I don't care anymore because they're gonna find a reason to put all of us on something. No, if I would do the far left version of everything they're doing, and it would be better because we'd weed out the actual fucking Nazis. I'd be like, okay, we're putting a lot of resources into breaking up domestic terror networks on the far right. We're defunding Heritage Foundation. We're going after all this stuff. Turning Point USA, same thing's happening to you. And like, yeah, you want to talk about a fucking cultural shift? I'll forcibly move the Overton window far left, motherfucker. Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah,
There
God,
should
I
be
blocked.
some kind of, and I know this is obviously not going to actually happen, at least during this regime, but maybe if there's like a really like strict crackdown on the right type regime in the future that's actually like further left, like an AOC regime or further left than her even. I would love for some kind of a mandate to go out that forces broadcasting companies who are actually just for entertainment but present as being educational to have some kind of disclaimer running across the screen the entire time that they are presenting facts as educational despite only being for entertainment. And really, I'm saying all of this because it would literally just mean Fox News would have to do that constantly.
Yes,
Because
yes.
Fox News
Or
literally got away with fucking lawsuits and shit by claiming that like any reasonable person watching their product would not believe what they say as fact, that they are an entertainment company like WWE.
I mean, they literally lost a lawsuit. Well, they settled out of court so that it wouldn't go to trial, to be fair. But like to Dominion, the fucking
Yeah.
voting machine company,
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, the fucking brain rot and just the Overton window being so far right, like we have to course correct so massively. So the low shot really again is just the country because especially with these federal layoffs and everything, I don't think people really understand the gravity of the damage being done quietly that's going to take decades to recover from. And honestly, again, if I was in charge or you got a far left person, I would do a massive progressive initiative funding just accelerating getting these institutions back on track and ahead of the game from wherever they were, right? I'd get them back to baseline and then get them the best they've ever fucking been. Fund the IRS, fund the CDC, fund scientific education and literacy. Like, God. And again, I say we could have a much better world. We really could. We have such an obscene wealth and material security, but the oligarchs are like, oh, God, I went from 0% taxes to 1%. Ew, and now they want to have me on a 90% marginal tax rate, which would still leave me more money for the rest of my life. But I don't want to share. That's gross. Like, I fucking hate these psychopathic people. That literally a small minority of powerful people are ruining our fucking lives, and they're billionaires. That's their name. Fucking billionaires. The whole lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Teal, Musk, all of them. Oh my god. I hate it. I hate it so much. Um, now we get to Foster's questions, right? Because I know he had questions.
Yes.
Yes.
Our first question from Alex Foster. If you guys were opposing GMs, what rumors would you make up about each other to prevent wrestlers from signing with your brand?
See, I really don't like questions like these because I love your face. I don't want to ruin your show. I'm rooting for you. I think you do a great wrestling show. Um,
Yeah, but if you had like Kyrie on your roster and you didn't want me signing her, what would you tell her to get her to not sign with me?
um, I would tell her because you're a data guy that you secretly use like an AI algorithm for hiring and firing practices so that she would have no job security if she goes with you because it's not even up to him. He leaves it up to AI.
That's a
So
good
that'd
one.
be,
I like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Who's to say it's not even true either?
But I wouldn't even want to do that about you, and I know you wouldn't do it because you're a very conscientious person, and like I don't know, I think you'd make an amazing wrestling show. So I'm rooting for you personally. But yeah, what rumor would you start about me that I'm gonna eat the talent that underperformed?
Oh God. I,
God,
you know what though? I wouldn't even really need to go that far. I wouldn't even need to make anything up either. I could just be like, hey, you know that guy's a cannibal, right?
dude, you would literally have to be like, listen, I used to do a podcast with this dude, and I made a super cut of all these sound bites. Take a listen to how he sounds when he doesn't give a fuck, and then yeah, like you just need me to
Literally
be me, bro.
any wrestler on my roster who's bald who's thinking about signing with you, I'd just be like, you know what he does to scalps, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dude, you just need me to be me. You don't even fucking need to do anything. Like you just laying back, against your desk, arms folded, and you're like, no, I got a plan. Well, what's the plan? Let John be John. That's all I fucking need.
Oh, you're so adorable. Oh my god.
And then a scandal would come out. Why does he keep calling Tommaso Ciampa into his office? Jesus fucking Christ.
If you were gonna lick a scalp, it would not be someone who backs the blue.
Oh God, that's so true. Thank you for reminding me that I have standards. So yeah, what's Foster's next question?
If any other wrestler had a forced face turn like Cena, who would do it, and what would their excuse be?
A forced face turn.
I
Um,
love that you emphasized face there.
I'm trying to think about who's heel right now that was recently face. Um,
Honestly, to me, the easy answer is Seth Rollins.
oh, you know what? I don't want to take that though, since you suggested it. So you can use that if you want. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I would
say,
say Seth Rollins because like he's like this like ruthless heel, and the crowd still sings his theme song and still says his catchphrases with him and stuff. And
yeah, okay.
I don't know if he would need an excuse. I think that he would just get beaten up by 2.5 bronze, and that would be it. He'd be a face at that point.
It seems like Jay is turning heel, so I would just say Jay, and I would make the excuse of I stubbed my toe, oops, and it put me in a really bad mood because that would
I'm
still
not,
be a better reason than what fucking John Cena
no,
gave.
you could have him do what you suggested that John Cena does. You could have him eat a Snickers bar and be like, "Sorry, man, I'm not myself when I'm hungry."
Yeah, I mean, we're already in the fucking adpocalypse era of capitalism where everything's a fucking ad. So yeah, that
Oh
works.
my
Um,
god, we need to start writing programming that can turn into advertising. That's crazy.
dude, programming that can turn into advertising for communism. That's how we win the war, bro. Fuck. Any other questions for Foster?
Yeah, one last question. Are there any foods or restaurants that you've been wanting to try but haven't been able to because of where you live? I have a great answer for this actually. In-N-Out Burger. I've wanted to try In-N-Out Burger for years now, but it's literally only on the West Coast, so I'm fucked.
And I also have a great answer for this. What a great final question and all, where you and I can answer it easily. Ethiopian foods. Who said foods or restaurants?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ethiopian food. I think there's like an Ethiopian place in Manchester, but that's like a 45-minute drive, and the traffic's awful. And like, yeah, so it's really just a logistics issue. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty inaccessible
In
to
and Out
me.
is
But
one,
yeah.
and Jack in the Box is another. There's no Jack in the Boxes around me either. I think that's also more of a West Coast thing.
I've heard good things about Jack in the Box. I don't eat beef very often anymore, but I would do it for a Red Robin burger and a Jack in the Box burger, I
It's
think.
so funny
Yeah.
because XG, whenever they come to the US, they always talk about how they can't wait to get In and Out. And I'm like, fuck, I've never experienced that. Why can't I try it?
Bro, imagine if you went to the same In and Out as XG. That'd be
That'd be
I'm rooting for
crazy.
that for you. Yeah, that I'm rooting for you for that to happen. Universe, you're hearing it. I'm putting out the good vibes. Let this man go to the same In and Out as XG. He deserves it. He's a fucking teddy bear. So fucking yeah, get it done. All right. I think that's it. I think we could go home, huh? That'd be great, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's fucking do that. So thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been TwitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. This was the week in review. Be sure to leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon notification so you don't miss any of that TwitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in Industry Box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. Um, we'll see you guys again. I mean, what do we think? Tuesday or Wednesday for Monte Gold? Because Monte Gold, I'm guessing, is going to be this week for us, right?
um, let's see here. Well, the last time we did Mortar Gold was not even this week, but the previous week, and that's because the 10-4 show that happened didn't have any. I think there was only one match on that whole card that we were interested in. So there are two, I think, shows happening. Like one yesterday, one tomorrow kind of situation. So yeah, I would guess that we probably are going to have more gold this week, and I would really like to aim for Wednesday on that.
Well, I think your aim's going to be good on that because I have no problem doing that Wednesday. I'm wondering if we should do 5 or 6. I know we're comfortable with 6 with
We
Monte Gold
will
usually, so
we'll aim for
yeah.
6, and if it turns out that there are just too many matches to get done by 8, we will move it back to 5.
Well, there you go, everybody. We sorted it out. So until then, be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in and peace out.